Hello, friends. Tuesday edition of Daily Dub, just for you. I am in the 90s. Actually, I'm in a hotel in Amesbury, Massachusetts that looks quite old and has not been refreshed in some period of time. So, but that's okay. It's not quite the same as the Grand Velas Resort Hotel, but I won't be here much. We actually have a long working session with my team today, and then again tomorrow, actually, and Thursday, and then next week we have a big business review, so we're just prepping for that this week. Anyway, I wanted to give you a daily dub. Tomorrow you'll get a trailer for the next episode of Dub Life, which I think you will enjoy. But for today, I want to talk about two things that are kind of connected. First is what I'm calling the negative culture, but it's the way that everybody seems to be in a hurry to say something sucks, or is not good, or don't see it, or don't buy it, or whatever. And in my opinion, a lot of times these are people that have never even seen a thing. And then second, I'm going to talk about Walking Dead, how that applies to it. So the first half of this you may be interested in. If you're not interested in Walking Dead, I will try to just stop and say, okay, now I'm going to talk about Season 9 of Walking Dead. There'll be spoilers around that season and maybe a little bit around the comic. So if you don't want to see that, you can stop. But first, I just very briefly, and I think it especially applies to Walking Dead because people want to jump up and down on the grave of Walking Dead and talk about how it's dead and they need to just stop making it and it's awful and all this stuff. And if you didn't watch Season 9 of Walking Dead, it may have been my best season that they've ever had. It was outstanding. And yes, the ratings have significantly declined. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But why is everybody in such a hurry to call something bad or negative? Why? Why does that exist in our culture? I don't do that. I try really hard not to do that. I certainly don't call people idiots that create something or morons. If you don't agree or like a path that a certain property is making, vote with your dollar. That's the way you do it. Vote with your dollar. You don't got to go on a Facebook group and jump up and down and scream. Those people aren't in that Facebook group to see that anyway. Vote with your money. Like right now, I think that WWE wrestling is creatively not something that I'm particularly interested in. And so I'm not going to shows. I'm not giving them money. I'm not buying T-shirts. And after WrestleMania, I may cancel the WWE Network. That's the way I can show that I'm not interested in what they're currently selling. And that's an appropriate way to do it. I'm not interested in what you're currently selling. But I don't need to say Vince McMahon's stupid or the creative Triple H or Road Dogg or whoever is in charge of creative is a moron and I could do it better. I could not. I could not do it better. Nobody's paying me to write a wrestling program. And so I just try to not hop on that bandwagon. The same thing with movies and well, the DC stinks, or Marvel's for kids, or Star Wars stink. You know what? We live in a wonderful time where everything that we like, people are making big budget things of, and they're doing their best to make a bunch of money off of it, period. Period. They want to make a bunch of money off of it. Nobody's intentionally trying to make a bad product or not trying to make money. It may not appeal to you, but the culture of being so negative and so shaming. We have way too much in our world that already is negative and already is bad news and already is hard to swallow, hard to digest. Why don't we bring that into our hobbies, into our love? Just if it's not for you, it's not for you. It's okay. Just either vote for your dollar or, you know, but I don't like the army of people that's in a hurry to shame something that most of the time they haven't seen. That's just the reality. Most of the time they haven't seen. And they're not planning to see. They just want to join the group that's got the pitchforks and the angry mob. I just don't like it. There's enough real stuff to get in line to do that for. Don't do it just to ruin what we have, because eventually we're going to make it all go away. And those people are going to say, you know what, we don't need to create product for this section anymore because all they do is complain. Let's try not to be that. Let's try to be better than that. Again, if you don't like something, vote with your dollar. If you don't like a toy line, vote with your dollar. Don't buy it. If you don't like Walking Dead, don't watch it. That's how you can vote with your dollar. It doesn't cost you anything, but you can not watch it if you subscribe to cable or whatever that it's included in. I don't know how many of us out there are just buying over the top the AMC streaming service just to watch Walking Dead, and so we can say I am spending my money directly on Walking Dead. I don't know how many of us are really doing that. So that's just kind of an aside. I just get tired of it. It makes me sad for people to see that they're always negative. You know, try to find something good in something. Try to find the positive thing in something. I mean, everything has a good performance by someone, has good effects, good visuals, whatever the case may be. Try to find the positive in something instead of trying to point out the negative all the time. It's just kind of a side thing. I think it'll make your life a little happier, a little more positive. Now, here's a break. I'm about to talk about Walking Dead Season 9. If you stay, it's because you either aren't going to watch it, have already watched it, or don't care if you get spoiled. So, let me first talk about the declining viewership. So, like I said, I think Walking Dead Season 9 was excellent. Maybe my favorite episode, if not, or favorite season, it's up there with like Season 4, Season 5. Those are kind of the high water marks. The same is true in the ratings, right? Season 4, 5, and 6 all were like in the 14 to 16 million in viewership. Huge numbers, right? That's what we don't appreciate. That's massive. That's the NFL. That's football level numbers in America. Humongous viewership. The ratings since then have been on decline. The pivotal point is the Negan episode where there are the deaths. And I don't have to say them just in case someone hasn't seen it, but the deaths, that Season 7, Episode 1, I think people thought that All Out War got drug on. The introduction of Negan, people didn't like, and then it was incredibly graphic, even though that episode, I think it was like 17 million viewers. I think it's the highest rated Walking Dead episode ever. And from that point on, it's gone down. It went to like 11 million in that season, and it's continually trended down, and this season, in Season 9, it's been like 4 to 5 million in viewership. Obviously not as good as the 16 million that it once was. But to say that The Walking Dead is over because of that, you realize that 4 to 5 million is the #1 show on cable television. Still the #1 show on cable television. Scripted, outside of sports, which always wins the ratings. The #1 show on cable television is not a show that's dead. In comparison, I love the show Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot's about to finish with its 4th and final season. Mr. Robot last season did 500,000 viewers and went 4 seasons. I love that show, and it's critically acclaimed usually. 500,000. Walking Dead does 4 to 5 million, and it's at its all-time low. Just kind of think about that. That is not, like, yes, it dropped a lot of viewership, but think of how popular it once was, that somehow a zombie show had that many viewers. More than football on Sunday nights. That's crazy. So, those want to jump up and down on this grave. You're not paying attention to data. Sure, it's collapsed. Absolutely. It is still incredibly popular. And I think its fan base is pretty loyal that stay around with it. Season 9, they changed showrunners. Angela Kang, outstanding job. The tone was different. It felt like a horror show. It was scarier. And I think that they've handled the Whisperers wonderful. I think Samantha Morgan, I think is her name, that plays Alpha. She is Morton, maybe. She is fantastic. Such a well cast. Ryan Hurst plays Beta. Fantastic. The casting has been excellent for it. I like the tone of the Whisperers, the score, the music that's played whenever they're around, the ding, 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 ding. Like, it's so creepy. And they've just done a really good job. They told the story of the Pikes beautifully. The cinematography in the penultimate episode 15, was great. They did not follow the comics. So they were able to tell the story of the Pikes and still surprise me. Like, yes, I knew there were Pikes coming. But, folks, if you're a diehard of anything, you know almost everything that's coming. Because you've consumed either the comic book or the regular book or the prequels, or the first time a story, whatever. Like, it's hard. Like, not a lot of things are truly original IP anymore. So, that's part of it. I enjoy being in the world of The Walking Dead. Not because of zombies, because it is a character-driven story. Walking Dead reminds me of Lost. Lost is my favorite television show of all time. The island in Lost is the zombies in Walking Dead. It is the plot device to allow you to spend time with the characters that you like. That's what it is. For Dub Life episodes, whatever we do, go to Walmart, go to the swap meet, that's just the plot device for me to show you time with myself and David and Steve and Victoria and Adonis and Damien, Drew, and whoever we're with in a given time, right? It's just, you want to spend time with the characters, quote unquote, the people you enjoy, and there has to be a reason for you to be spending time with them, because this isn't real life. It's a story that's being presented to you. So what is the story that allows me to get to spend some time with Michonne or with Daryl or with whoever? And if it was just a story of the week, that's network television, like NCIS. If you love Agent Gibbs, well, you can see Agent Gibbs do all kinds of stuff on NCIS, right? The thing I like, and I've talked about before, about the cable scripted shows, is there are consequences. You want there to be things that happen that negatively impact your characters, because you want it to feel like a true real-life story. Now, it's hard to when it's a zombie world, but the romances and the loss and the ups and the downs make the characters relatable and make it feel like your everyday job. So I like the stories of The Walking Dead, the character stories, and I think they've done a beautiful job when Daryl runs to Carol and hides her eyes and tells her to just look at him so she doesn't see Henry. It's such a good character moment, and it pays off. 9 years that we've spent in that relationship in like only a couple words scene, and I think that's wonderful. The finale, the snow episode, was beautifully shot, very ambitious. I really enjoyed that episode. It was very much a page out of Game of Thrones, not just because it's winter, but the penultimate being the big bad, and then the finale being a stage setting. They have the radio. If you don't read the comics, skip forward 10 seconds. The radio obviously is foreshadowing the Commonwealth. That's where they are in the comics right now. Okay, you can listen to me again if you fast forwarded. So that means they're very close to catching the comics, because that's happening right now. So they're doing good. Michonne Denai is leaving Walking Dead in season 10. She's going to be just a recurring character, so she'll only be in a few episodes the way that Andrew Lincoln was this year, Rick. And then she's leaving. She'll probably go to the movies, I would imagine, with Andy Lincoln. So a lot will continue to change with Walking Dead. But I know that Norman Reedus and Melissa McBride, Carol and Daryl, they've signed on for, I think, at least 2 more seasons after season 9, so through season 11. And AMC has said they plan to have Walking Dead as a part of their franchise for another decade. I don't think that just means Walking Dead Prime, the main show, but The Walking Dead in general, everything. So anyway, I thought season 9 was great. I think you should watch it if you haven't watched it. Even if you just come on after Rick leaves, or you just want to watch the first 3 or 4 episodes, 5 episodes before Rick leaves, and see if you like that. But then the story changes, because there's a time jump after Rick leaves, and enjoy that start. That could be your fresh start. That's the way it is in the comics. There's the big time jump, even though Rick's not gone. You could enjoy it that way. Anyway, I got to get on the road. I appreciate you watching. Tomorrow you'll get a trailer. I'll be back Thursday with another Daily Dub. Let me know what you thought about this season of Walking Dead in the comments. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon. Squeeze it.